Day 36, Proverbs 14, verse 7. Stay away from a fool, for you will not find knowledge on their lips. Clarify a couple of things. A fool in this context means someone who rejects God and rejects God's truth and rejects God's wisdom. Also, we're not going to always be able to stay away from the fool, and we should not always stay away from the fool. It's actually God's will for us in Matthew 9, verse 12, to go out to the sick, to these fools, and heal them, and help them, and share the gospel, and make disciples of all nations, right? So it's not saying stay away from a fool completely, but it's saying, when it says, for you will not find knowledge on their lips, we have to be careful what these people who reject God are telling us, reject God's truth and reject God's wisdom are telling us. We have to be careful, and we have to be making sure that the advice, that the knowledge that they're giving us is biblical. Because if it's not, it can corrupt us and it can influence us and make us act on these influences that actually go against God's word. So how do you know that the advice that they're giving is good? Well, be in God's word and make sure it fits God's word by knowing God's word. Again, by being in God's word. Right? But in 1 Corinthians, it says that bad company corrupts good morals. If you're actually taking advice from someone who is an unbeliever, who rejects God's truth, who rejects God's wisdom, if you're actually taking advice from them, they can corrupt your relationship with God, especially, again, if the advice that they're giving is foolish and doesn't align with God's truth. When it says you will not find knowledge on their lips, it's saying if you're careless about the advice that a fool gives, it can corrupt you and lead you to do bad things. Again, 1 Corinthians, right? And so we have to be constantly checking the advice that these fools give and checking their knowledge that these fools give to make sure, and we're being careful about it, not careless about it, so we make sure that it doesn't influence us in a negative way. Again, we're not always meant to avoid a fool. That's not what it's saying. We're not always meant to stay away from a fool. But if they give advice, we have to make sure that it's from them. And if it's not, then we have to stay away from that bad advice that they're giving us. Make sense? I hope this helps you guys. If you need prayers or questions, DM me Instagram or comment down below. I thank you guys so much. God bless you.